So we are Spasm Design, for the lack of a better name, Sanjeev Panjabi and Sangeeta Merchant. I feel that, and I know that she feels the same, that a singular person makes a project more as art. We sort of make it more as a design. The difference between art and design is design has to perform, art needn't. We do like to, however, be non-designers. It's more like a composer makes a track, and the track has hindrances and has over creative overtures which can be removed so that it sounds even more melodious, even more beautiful, and conveys the message. So this particular project is a second home in Khopoli, which is 2 hours drive away from Bombay, but it's located on a highland, which is where the monsoon breaks. So a lot of green burst occurs at that particular point in time, maybe early June. It was a little rocky bluff with hardly any vegetation on it, just pure basalt, a black rock which is prevalent in the region. And Sangeeta came up with this very poetic idea. If we are building on an outcrop of basalt, why not build with the material of the bluff? Actually, we got all the basalt for this house within half a kilometer. So it's a low carbon footprint again. The idea is to be that custom to the site. Okay, so coming to the specifics of the site, it's more like a linear tableland, and it contours down by about 50 feet. So in order to preserve the flat land as best as we could, we've located the house more or less towards the end of the plot, making the drive to it nice and long. The other reason for placing it at this particular juncture was the fact that there existed 2 mango trees which could be framed beautifully within the house. The third reason for putting it here was that it framed a rock which sat about 4 kilometers away, and eventually the house landed up being called Pashan, which means rock in Hindi. Climatically, the sun moves from east to west in this way, and the rains, which are the main concern on this site, come in from the southwest and actually break on the hill here. So the house basically faces east. That's the north. So as far as the architecture of the building itself is concerned, it basically is a collection of rooms which are made out of concrete and the spaces in between. The key space is the living space, which is bound by a pool, which is an infinity edge towards the main view frame. Attached to it is the open to sky space. Then there is a covered living space in which you basically dine, live and sit, and towards the back again is an open to sky space. So these 2 walls become simple concrete walls which frame the view and allow the breezes to pass through the space. The shutters which entrap this space go into little pocket shutters on the side, and the 2 mango trees sit within courts, holding the bedrooms as masses. And as all buildings last longer than their creators and their owners, we've actually factored that in by building a sort of vineyard brick wall within, which could allow for changes for future occupants or future wishes of the same client. The entrance canopy where one arrives is a hugely pronounced cantilever. The reason being, we wanted the house to function in 2 ways. One, to look away from itself at distant views, and the other to look back at the tableland that we had and frame it. It functions as a giant veranda. It also funnels the breezes through the house and allows for oldies who arrive with cars during the rains to get off safely and enter the house. What we tried to do was actually drip the house off the cliff in a very gentle fashion, literally like chocolate sauce falling off a vanilla scoop, and built a 3-leveled home where only the corner of the house, a precious little, needs the retaining walls to sort of create the sense of living on a cliff. For instance, one bedroom on the corner of the house, which I call my favorite bedroom of the house, is a subterranean bedroom where you go down from the living room. The entire material there is strips of kadappa put in a sort of sedimented way, so that when you traverse up and down the steps, you feel that you're burrowing like an animal down and up into the earth or into the girth of the cliff. And the stone plays the hero, the protagonist of this house. It basically is underfoot in different textures. It is reflective, it is matte where required. The idea here is to build this exoskeleton of concrete, which is the intrinsic material of the cliff because it's powdered basalt. Therefore, the house was called the house cast in liquid stone. The house has matured now. The trees within the house have grown. One of the trees enters into the toilet, and we've asked the client not to prune it because it just has its own beauty. We intentionally asked the landscape agency to actually grow grasses within the house through voids between our floor, because the whole idea is that when you go to these second homes, why do you go there? To see the fight between nature and man. Nature always tries to eat back at the house, and man sort of creates his space trying to inhabit that particular patch of sweet land. The whole occurrence of these grasses which burst out and seasonally within the house basically is evidence to the fact that nature will fight back and the circle of life will go on, and that's what you come to witness in these second homes.